Is safety for all more important than an API score on a dashboard? Discipline should not be avoided to make a school appear better.
This video right here, I just want y'all to know that we love and encourage all individuals on this channel, but we do still stand for what's right and what's wrong. And some of what we say might come off as an attack to you if you're offended by something we say, but our intent is good, okay? Our intent is to try to help figure things out together, be objective while listening to other sides and that we don't particularly agree with. And I think that we don't agree yet because we lack the understanding, and that can't happen without any conversation, all right? So some things will be said that you might not enjoy or like, but that's life, okay? All right, this one right here is from Lisa.
I am gravely concerned about the extreme behaviors that we are seeing across the district. I've been a teacher in the district for 17 years, and recently I have seen an increase in the amount of disruptive and, to be honest, disturbing behaviors in our student population and an utter lack of consequences. As an educator and a mom of 4 RUSD students, I am outraged at the amount of defiance, disrespect, and outright abusive behaviors that our students are displaying. I am concerned for the mental well-being of students and teachers who are witnessing these extreme behaviors. Teachers are being physically assaulted, students screaming and cursing in class, students damaging school properties in fits of rage, students eloping, forcing schools to lock in, students threatening gun violence upon our schools. The list goes on. I am concerned for the emotional damage this is causing students who bear witness to these alarming acts, as well as my fellow colleagues who have to deal with these unsafe and fundamentally wrong behaviors daily. How can anyone teach or learn in this type of environment? My high schoolers have told me several times this year that they do not want to attend pep rallies because there have been threats made. How can I help calm their nerves when I agree that they are unsafe to attend when students making threats are allowed back into our schools? I ask you, what is the district doing with our concerns? Every RUS teacher that I have spoken with is frustrated with the lack of disciplinary action or follow-through. I've been told for years that we are developing a plan. What are we doing to support students and staff being terrorized by these extreme behaviors now? Teachers are reporting behaviors to the chain of command for students to return with little or no consequence. A teacher was being physically assaulted by a student, and when she brought the complaint to admin, she was told that the district could provide her with protective gloves for her to wear while she was working with this student. This is just one example. We have been told to use PBIS, MTSS, positive reinforcement, praise, tangible objects to reward students for the most basic expectations, like sitting and listening to the teacher, not eloping, raising your hand, etc. Kids are offered so many prizes that I fear that they are no longer intrinsically motivated. I feel that we as educators are discouraged from giving consequences. I have been told that we cannot confiscate property when it has explicit words written on it. Every year, I have PGS teachers sent through my room to observe successful classroom management. I pride myself on building a class community founded in mutual respect. My students know that I love and care about them. My #1 job is to keep them safe, just like I provide a loving home for my 4 children. Boundaries are in place to foster a feeling of safety. Chaos suits no one. What are we doing now?
Now, before we go into this one right here, I just want to say real quick, I'm Van. We are all the LFR family. Much love to all of you, and that's what we lead in. My motto is God and family first. So if I'm putting God first, then there's a whole bunch of rules and ways I'm acting, or at least I'm trying. I'm trying to live up to something better and bigger than myself when it comes to that. So any of my comments, they will be wrapped in a God-fearing manner. All right, I will say this. When I was growing up, I was a knucklehead. I was one of them little youngins who tested the boundaries all the time, not having my mother or my father in the home, being raised by my guardian who had her own situations, didn't have a high school diploma. Her highest level of school was 5th grade at that point, and she was raising 3 children. Her children, naturally birthed, were starting at 7 years older than me and up. All right. And I was the only person that she took in as that she adopted. So I acted out a lot, and I was hard on these teachers Well, the teachers back then, they let me know when to calm my tail down. All right. They will put their hands and beat the hell out of me sometimes with a yardstick or a shoe or whatever it meant to say, look, if you're not going to act like this in front of your guardian, you will not act like this in front of me. And if you do want to act like this, you can get out of my class. And the one thing that supported this and made things move the way it was supposed to is that the administrators, they supported it as well. The vice president supported it. The vice principal supported it. The principal supported it. The school board supported it. And I became a better person because of it. Not because I was being beat by my teachers, but because the teachers weren't afraid to discipline us when they needed to. Now, our neighborhood, our school, most of the people who went to my school was built like a prison. Patricia Roberts Harris is what it's called right now. But it was called Friendship Educational Center back when I went to it. And most people in my neighborhood went to that school from kindergarten to 9th grade. Pre-K to 6th grade were all on the bottom floors. And upstairs, once you graduated from elementary school, it was 7th to 9th. And it was built like a prison, all right? And it was smack dab in the hood of Southeast DC. So these teachers could not afford to be no suckers. They had to do what they had to do. And by them doing that, they helped the parents raise some upstanding citizens who will go on to do some amazing things in life because of that. Right now, what we have is a whole bunch of people who do not want to upset or hurt the feelings of others. Now, feelings have taken the forefront, and because that's the case, we are no longer disciplining people the way that we're supposed to. Everyone's afraid to even yell, not even put their hands on. You can't even spank a child anymore, which sucks. I'm still for a teacher being able to spank a damn kid, especially if they have a reason for it. You got a reason for it? Huh? Did they do something to deserve this? Then whoop their little tails. I don't care. All right? That's how that works. If you don't have a reason for it and you're just being an adult bully, then you need to be fired, reprimanded some type of way. All right? That's the rules that we go by. Because you're not beating the kid to instill any type of negativity into them. You're doing it to show them that you love them, that you care about them, and that there's some order out there in the real world. And you need to learn that here first so you not be hurt or arrested or killed prematurely out there in the streets. So that's why it's that important to do that. But everybody's about their feelings now. Oh no, we don't spank our child in our home. We don't yell at our child. We just have quiet time. That's a whole bunch of sucker stuff that they now have transferred over into the school system. And now the schools have to do it as if they're in their homes. No, none of that. Once that kid crosses the threshold of this school system, where we are supposed to teach them to be upstanding citizens. Hey, your rules at home, they no longer work over here, baby. Sorry. That's how it should go. But we some suckers now. People are being sued now for ridiculous things. And now, as you can very well see, educators are afraid to teach a daggone child.
This is Janice Ramirez, and I'm here as an RUSD teacher to express my deep concerns about the current state of discipline within our school district. The lack of discipline has resulted in a culture where both students and teachers are being exposed to unnecessary risks. Even our youngest students understand that there are little to no consequences in our schools. Oftentimes, they can see that these negative behaviors are being rewarded as students return to class with a toy or candy given by administrators. There have been multiple instances of physical harm among students which have not been effectively addressed. Students have been hit in the head by desks, chairs, books, and more that were thrown. These altercations, among others, not only endanger the well-being of those involved, but also create a hostile and unsafe environment for other students and teachers. We are normalizing violence in the classroom.
Shout out to Debbie. Congratulations on your new job. Yeah, congratulations on your new job. That's what's up.
Personally, this year I've been hit, kicked, bit, scratched, and had furniture pushed on me by student. I've also been instructed to use furniture to block a student from eloping out of my classroom. And unfortunately, I'm not the only teacher in this position. In my class, we were subjected to a student pounding on our door and glass, yelling, "Let me the F in," and he didn't use the letter. For over 40 minutes, he escalated, throwing his shoes at the glass and continued cursing and banging on the door, with the administrator and SAP counselor being unsuccessful at calming him down. No consequences were given, and the student returned the next day. After this incident, one student left RUSD due to anxiety and was homeschooled. Numerous reports from teachers indicate a growing trend of disruptive behavior in classrooms. I ask you to consider how innocent children are supposed to thrive in such a volatile environment. The equity of all students is compromised by the behavior of a few. Placing a certificated substitute as a one-on-one babysitter an enormous waste of financial resources and a disservice to the student crying out for help. Some possible solutions include strengthening disciplinary procedures and making this policy readily available for teachers and parents. Is safety for all more important than an API score on a dashboard? Discipline should not be avoided to make a school appear better. Virtual school. Number 2, virtual school is a requirement for students whose behavior has escalated through all other disciplinary procedures. 3, a fast-track system for severe behavior needs. And this has taken me over 6 months to get help from my 2 extreme students, and those resources were still not effective. 4, counselors and teachers trained in severe trauma at each school site. 5, full-time aides for all kindergarten classrooms like Moreno Valley Unified has done. Our students deserve the opportunity to thrive in an environment free from fear and trauma. I can assure you, if your child or grandchild were in my classroom, you would remove them. With the lack of safety, we have chosen to pay for our grandson's tuition in private school to avoid the severe negative behaviors that he would be exposed to in an RUST school, and this makes me sad. I request that the school board take swift and decisive action on the concerns raised here tonight.
I hope that they will put video cameras inside of these classes and allow these parents to discipline these children how they please, as long as it falls within the law. I mean, if it's legal, let them do it, man. Ain't nowhere in the world I'm teaching a daggone class and one of my children can disrupt everybody else, curse at me, kicking doors, banging on doors, and just continue to just be disrespectful, and I can do nothing about it. And then you just gonna blatantly tell me that, and they will be at school tomorrow. We need to make sure that they are okay. I'm not a goddamn counselor. That's what we got a counselor for. That's where apparently his or her mom need to have counseling for those children. That's not our jobs. And if the parents cannot take care of their children before they send them into my care as their teacher, as their educator, they need to keep them home, because they're slowing down the progress of all the other children in the class. And that's extremely inconsiderate. And I cannot believe that a school system will stand by that, knowing that a whole bunch of children are falling by the wayside. You know, there's a high school in Washington, D.C. called Anacostia High School. This year, in 2023, they graduated 36 seniors. It's a public high school, a lot of students, and they graduated 36 seniors. Stop playing with me, man. The fact that we are making these children into some suckers, into some crybabies. We are creating depression. We're creating anxiety by giving so much power to it. Some of the one child had to go home for anxiety. One child had to go home for depression. Where was depression and anxiety when we were growing up? I'm just saying. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone who goes through these mental situations, okay? But I don't have to buy into it. I don't give any power to it. I'm certain I go through a lot of the same things as people who suffer from depression and anxiety. I just don't give any power to it. I don't give any credence to it. I work through it, and I'm a better person for it. And we need to do the same thing for these daggone kids, man. We owe them that much.
Good evening, everybody here tonight, including all of our teachers in the overflow room. My name's Connie Rice Nicholson, and I'm speaking to you tonight as a member of our RUSD family. Some of you on this board know my father. He retired after teaching at Gage and Poly for 37 years. My stepmom taught for 26 years at Gage. As for me, this is my 30th year teaching in RUSD. My family has given this district almost 100 years of service.
That's great news. Sheesh, her family is dedicated to education, for real. Bad intro. That is huge news, man. God is good. God is amazing. That is awesome. Congratulations.
Think about that for a minute. 100 years. I'm here tonight because I want you to see my face and hear directly from me how I am feeling. I have spent most of my adult life as a teacher in our district. I've held many leadership roles and been a mentor teacher. I'm aware of what it takes to have good classroom management, but I'm here to tell you, that world that I once taught in is gone. I now work in a war zone. I spend all of my days dealing with discipline issues. I go home every day exhausted and overwhelmed and feeling like a failure. I have 3 more years before I retire, but every single morning I have to force myself to go to work. My family is watching me suffer and they worry about me. They worry for my safety and for my mental and physical health, and I'm still trying to decide if I will even come back next year. This is simply no way to live. So what am I asking from you? I'd like you for a moment to just visualize your family, your loved ones. Put their picture in your mind. Visualize your spouse, your sibling, your child. If one of your family members was experiencing daily ongoing trauma, experiencing the disturbing events mentioned here tonight, would you let them and tell them that they would need to wait months for help? Would you tell them there's nothing you can do? You keep saying we are part of your RUSD family, but are we really? Tonight you have heard some of the most disturbing behaviors happening in our schools, and you've heard from parents, students, teachers who are scared to go to school because they're not safe. Is this how we treat our family? What if these incidents involved your loved ones? What would you do to help? Teachers have been asking for clarification about our district's discipline policies, but no meaningful answers have been provided. Apparently, we have no policy. It's left to the discretion of each school administrator. You keep deflecting to the state of California, and we are sick and tired of hearing this as your excuse to do nothing. It is time to stand up for your RUSD family and put together a plan to address these serious discipline issues. It is time for you to value our students and teachers more than your scores on that school dashboard. It is time for you to create a unified district discipline plan, and it is time to stop with the excuses. There is no more time to wait. This is a health and safety crisis. And if nothing is done about it, the consequences are going to be on your hands. If we are truly your family, then act like it. Hear us, really hear us. Protect us, stand up for us. Don't just say we're your family. Show us that you really are.
Like I said all the time, man, this may not mean anything to y'all, but I see somebody say, all these poor teachers, they're not poor. Quit your damn jobs. Walk away from the job. Period. Go do something else. I went to school for education. If I don't do anything else, I got to take care of my family. No, you got to take care of your family at the level you're currently living on. You don't want to take any back seats. You don't want to, you want to be able to live how you're living. You want to be able to eat how you're eating. You want to be able to provide how you're providing, have the certain luxuries that you have in life. So you're giving into this sucker ass system that is holding you and your family hostage and won't allow you to do what you want to do. Ain't no way in the world my wife is going to be at work crying to her supervisor to change the rules. Nah, damn that. Walk away from that. They don't value you as a person, you walk away. They don't value you as a teacher, walk away. The ones that stay deserve to get what they get. The system is changing. The world is changing. The country has changed a lot. Having these meetings where y'all are crying and giving your 2 pennies, I think that's dope. It shows that y'all are coming together. But guess what? Things ain't gonna change. It's not. It's gonna get worse. It's getting worse. I got one little gray hair on my chin. People keep on pointing it out. That bad boy is my bit of wisdom right there. My wife says that I'm a hard ass. I'm tough. I'm a tougher. Well, guess what? In order to survive, you gotta be tough, okay? My wife thinks that I'm dismissive when it comes to certain things, and I am. I don't buy into every little thing. Yes, do people still suffer from depression and anxiety? Absolutely. Is it a real thing? More than likely. Do I give into it? Hell to the no. Hell no. No, I don't. Have not. And if I told you my story, it would seem like I'm trying to win the Victim Olympics, and I probably would, but nah, what's the point? I take my hits and I keep moving. You can't appreciate me and what I bring to the table? Guess what? I don't know what else to tell you. Love you. Bye. I'm out. Simple and plain. Or learn a new tactic. Learn a new skill. Learn a new way to get the point across. But if you choose and you decide to stay within a system that's clearly not benefiting these children, and they're not 100% backing the educators who run it, yo, then you stay in it for yourself. I'm in it for the kids. I got to make sure the kids get what they need. All right, then go through any of the turmoil you got to go through. As for any relationship, you might be in an abusive marriage and you can leave, but you decide not to because you want to make sure that the children are okay. You want to make sure the children have a relationship with their mom or their dad. I don't know whichever one is being abusive. I'm not just going to assume it was the man. That's another thing too. Where were the men teachers? I only saw women. I saw one man standing up, but men teachers need to be heard. They do. Men teachers need to be heard, and men teachers need to be men. I'll just leave it at that.